Hello, PJP2 families. Welcome back to our second, town hall addressing your questions and concerns about reopening our school. I'm Jill Wentzel and I am the acting vice principal here at PJP. Today we are going to address instruction and how that will look this coming school year. With me to talk about it is acting principal Patricia Tarquinio.
Welcome. We are happy to address your needs, and I want to thank everybody for their questions. I want to start by saying that your input drives a lot of the decisions that we make. So when you ask us questions or tell us how you're feeling about things, we talk about that and we go back to the drawing board and we figure out what we can do to help make you feel better and to meet the needs that you have regarding health and safety and instruction.
So let's start with instruction.
Okay.
What options do our families have?
Right, so every family has 3 options. As you know, according to the plan, we are open 5 full days starting in September. That has not changed. I know there are local districts that have, for their own reasons and their own purposes, are not opening until November, but everybody has a different building, a different clientele, different challenges. They're making the choice that's best for them, and we're making the choice that we think is best for us and best for you. That being said, we're offering options for instruction because you as the parent are the one who knows what your child needs best and how to best meet the needs of your family. So your 3 options for instruction at PJP starting in September are the normal one, full in. They come 5 days a week. They go to their cohort as described in the other town hall meeting, episode 1. And they get live instruction from their teacher in the classroom 5 days a week. The other option is 5 days a week virtual instruction, which is a choice that you would make based on your family's needs. You just notify us that you'll be enrolling your child for virtual instruction for, I would say, at least the first marking period till we get through to the fall, and then maybe we can readdress it at that point and you can see how you're feeling about things and we can see what the world is looking like in November. And the other option is a hybrid or a part in, part out. Again, driven by the needs of the family. So if you're called back to work and you have to work 3 days a week out of the house and you're in home 2 days a week and you want your children's schedule to mirror yours, you may do that. We just ask that you call the main office and tell the lovely Mrs. Tommy Pizzone what schedule you'll be enrolling for. She'll put you in the database as either an in-person student, virtual full-time, or hybrid. And then your classroom teacher will reach out to you with regards to how you access the materials that you need when you need them.
What kind of methods will we be using to allow our at-home students?
Right, so the unpredictability and the flexible nature of the virus has caused every educator to have to come up with a flexible method for instruction. So what we did to respond to the need was we invested in state-of-the-art technology for every classroom teacher. Back in March, when we first were quarantined, we thought we'd be out for 2 weeks, and we were out, well, we're still out, so it was not ideal. I think our teachers did an extraordinary job meeting the need at the time. But keep in mind, every teacher had in front of her whatever personal device she happened to own and happened to have at the house during the quarantine. So some of the input we got from parents and from the teachers was that was a hardship. It didn't allow for seamless and consistent technology at home. So we invested in Surface Pros for every teacher, which is a brand new state-of-the-art notebook, very dynamic and interactive, and a high definition camera with remote mic for every classroom teacher. So wherever the teacher finds herself teaching, in the classroom, or if we should have to be quarantined or the governor should close the schools again and we have to be from home, every teacher will have these dynamic, interactive devices at home to be able to offer virtual education seamlessly.
That is amazing.
Thank you.
That we can provide.
We can, and we've also invested in dynamic learning platforms, which was another thing that we didn't have at the ready last year because we didn't know that this was coming. But we learned from that. And so we invested in two, along with the Google platform that we have been using that has been successful, and with all of the new features and upgrades that has come with Google, we are investing in Seesaw for our pre-K through third grade classes, which is, again, designed specifically for those grade levels, developmentally appropriate for those grade levels. Very dynamic, very interactive, great learning platform for students. If you're not familiar, parents, and you are interested, you can look it up online and you can read about it, and you'll see that it's a very easy to use, interactive learning platform for young students. We also are investing in Screencastify, an upgraded version of that to allow for more recording, longer recording of lessons, so that they can be available for parents who are not able to get the live stream because of schedule constraints, or because you might have more than one child at home and you have to balance your schedule. So we're trying to offer you every possibility that you need to be able to work this into your life until such time as we can be back together in the building.
How might that instruction piece look? Would a young student need to be sitting at the computer screen for 5 or 6 hours a day?
No, and that is, the American Academy of Pediatrics has put out significant research on the fact that that is not ideal for any student, any person, at any time. So it'll have kind of the approach that traditional cyber schools have. So in instruction in the classroom, live instruction in the classroom, it'll mirror that. So if you're teaching, say, a second grade math lesson, the teacher would instruct for 15 to 20 minutes about the content. You give them the rules, model things, teach it. And then there is a period that comes after that where the students apply the knowledge. That's where they work in their workbooks, or they get out their worksheets, or they get manipulatives, or they do some group work together. That's the application of the knowledge. And then there might be a period of the time where the teacher then reviews and assesses that at the end. It'll be the same with virtual. The live streaming will be the instruction part. And so your child will be in front of their computer screen for the 15 to 20 minutes, or in the upper grades, maybe up to a half hour for the instruction time. And then the camera will be shut off and your student will be given directions, and will have in front of them the practical applications, the worksheet or the book or whatever it was that the teacher needs them to do, to write or to draw or to compute. And then assessment for virtual students would have to be done through appointment, either through Zoom, a group Zoom, or an individual Zoom, or a conference call with the teacher to evaluate the assessment of whatever was performed in the lesson.
And do you think students would have an opportunity then to ask questions of their teacher through Zoom as they need?
Of course, certainly. Students in the classroom will have that opportunity during the time when the camera's turned off. So they will be able to conference with their teacher, raise their hand as they normally do for in-person instruction. But for virtual instruction, just like before, those times the teacher would then check in with them, and they could ask questions. She could give them clarification on things that they didn't understand, or give them praise for things that they're doing especially well.
I don't know if I have any more questions, Mrs. Tarquinio.
So I want to talk a little bit about the cohort. I know we talked about it in episode 1, but now that we're talking about instruction, I think it's important to address that again. I know some parents have concerns about the fact that their children, and some children, quite frankly, have concerns about the fact that they're going to be with one group of people all day in one room. And we thought about that at length, as you know, when we put together the groups. And we even invited Mrs. Pernisi, who is our school counselor, to look at those groups with us. We talked to the teachers about it, and we really wanted to make sure that the group was delicately balanced, to make sure that everybody had a friend or an ally or something comforting in that classroom, because they are going to spend the whole day together. And we really feel like we struck a balance with that, and we feel comfortable that the cohorts that have been created will be successful for the students learning during the day.
Wonderful. I did think of another question.
Okay.
What if someone chooses one of our 3 options and then they find it's just not working for them? Is there a way they can communicate that to us?
Of course, certainly. We want you to choose the option that's going to be best for you and best for your children. So just keep that in your mind. So let's just talk about a scenario. Suppose you choose virtual instruction because you feel like it's the best choice for you now in September. And with your best efforts, it's just not working out for you. Or you get called back to work, and so now your family needs have changed. You can contact us and tell us that you would like to have in-person instruction, and we will just shift. You're part of that class. Once you're enrolled in your cohort or your homeroom, you're part of that class. You're educated by that teacher, and those children are your classmates, your child's classmates. If that changes and you want to be in person or from person to virtual, you can if you have a situational change that requires that. Just contact us. Ideally, or the reverse is true too. If you decide to be in person and you're here along about October, things change and you're no longer comfortable with that and you want to go to virtual, we'll make the shift for you. Ideally, what we want you to do is be peaceful. Trust us. Trust yourselves. You have your child's best interests at heart. You, as their parent, are their first provider. What do you need from us in order for your child to be educated and healthy and safe? We're here to do that for you.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Mrs. Tarquinio, for going over all of that with us. And thank you for being a part of the PJP2 family. We really appreciate you, and we love you, and we love being a part of your lives.
Thank you, and please feel free to contact us if you have any questions or concerns or just want to talk about something. We're here for you.